The best thing that happened to me last year, 2015, was assets.
I got international connections, friends whom I can now consult with and strengthen my collaborations.
The asset program has definitely been of benefits to me. Since joining the asset program, my goal was that I wanted to get a publication out through the peer review process that asset affords. And that went very well, and I got the publication out as well.
ASSET is the Agricultural Scientist Support Exchange Team. It is part of the Crop Engineering Consortium developed by Christian Rogers and part of the BECA GIC Alliance. ASSET was formed to help develop relationships between our region in the UK and Sub-Saharan Africa. It was also formed in order to help increase the effectiveness of early career scientists. There were three main activities in the ASSET program. The first was leadership and management training facilitated by HFP Consulting in Kigali, Rwanda in November 2015. Then after that, the participants engaged in 6 months of peer review on some document that was really important for their success. And finally, we had a follow-up session with professional trainers Vanda Morgan and Tony Clarkson in London to help revisit the learning that had gone on during the year and re-establish connections.
My name is Vanda Morgan, and I head up the Learning and Development team for the Biosciences Institutes. That includes JIC, and as part of the role, I get involved in what are the needs, what do people need at an individual level, what they need at a group level, a team level. And also design of programs, bringing in different people, which adds to the diversity of what we do as well, but also using some of the expertise and resources that we have within the departments to share their experience, share their knowledge and understanding. The concept of peer partnering, I think, is fantastic. I touched a moment ago on the fact that you have already within the institutes such a wealth of experience, of knowledge and understanding. Coupled with that, you've got diversity just within some of the teams. You know, you won't have two people with the same nationality or background, and then you multiply that by the number of teams there are in the institutes. Then you think about how you can share that outside of the institutes. So somebody may have a very different experience of education, for example. And there's been somebody who has an expectation that, yeah, I'll be told how to do this. They won't necessarily have developed their understanding of how to themselves be as creative and tap into their own expertise. And some of the things that I've seen with the peer partnering programs with ASSET, the different cultural inputs of, you know, yes, well, it's okay, you know, you can develop these things, have a go at it. What's untapping the resource within you? And I think that's been amazing. Sharing those different conditioning cultural backgrounds, as well as the level of experience and understanding.
One of the major ways that it's affected me is because of the tremendous diversity in the ASSET program. And one of the things that I wasn't expecting was how, even though all of us are coming from very diverse backgrounds, but a lot of the challenges that we face, both within science, outside of science, were very similar, and it was very easy to connect with people when we were talking about these challenges. And those conversations, I think, they'll stay with me for a long time.
The ASSET team is made up of 16 early career scientists, 7 of them working at the John Innes Center and 9 of them working at different institutions in Africa. And all in all, there are 12 different nationalities represented in the 16-person team.
ASSET really offers a variety of different things. And to me, the main thing that I took from ASSET was an improvement of my communication skills, especially when it comes to listening to other people, listening to friends and colleagues. You could apply that to a variety of cases, and communicating things like feedback, instructions, issues, negotiation. So it can really be applied to a variety of different scenarios. And I think ASSET not only gave us the formal training to acquire these skills, but also the space to enforce them through the multiple rounds of reviewing that we had over the years. And these are really important skills in probably most workplaces, and maybe very few people have this opportunity to have this sort of formal training.
The biggest challenge that I face in this work is lack of enough capacity, especially in the area of genetics and plant breeding, which are the cutting edge sciences right now. So we have a very limited human resource, and there's many times you can't consult or have exchange of ideas with other people. So you end up having to work alone or to consult with friends, international friends that I've made and all that. There are about 3 or 4 major ways that my experience with ASSET has affected me. First of all, the training in leadership and management with HFP strengthened me as a leader. And right now when I'm in the lab and in the classroom, even in the office, I can try to I take from that experience, from that knowledge, and apply it in my work. And another way is I was trying to write my paper, but I was stuck. I didn't know how to proceed with a draft. But through the ASSET peer review exchange, I got a kickstart into it. And by now I can say I'm through with it. It's just ready for submission to the peer review journal.
First of all, I've been able to help others in reviewing their write-ups, technical reports, research papers, proposals. And this year I've been made one of the members of the review team, editorial board of my institute, and I believe that the ASSET has really helped me helping others to put their scientific work into written. So ASSET was very good to me.
So in my experience, international partnerships are all about people. So quite a lot of institutes and universities and organisations think that international partnerships are about memoranda of understanding or joint projects or pieces of paper, effectively. My view is that international partnerships really revolve around people. So what we're trying to do is ensure that the areas of the world where we're trying to build capacity, those people have the right links, both at JIC but widely in the UK and in Europe and in North America, for example.
The simplest way to describe my work will be plant virologist or molecular plant virologist. Currently I'm working on a root crop called taro. It is very important root crop in the Pacific, in the Sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. The experience with ASSET was so fantastic. First of all, I got a chance to meet new, young and very brilliant scientists from different parts of the world working on different agricultural problems and challenges. That was really a good opportunity. On top of that, the peer reviewing activities we did through the year, it was really good for me. It increases my confidence on writing and also my skill. Last but not the least, the workshop we had in Rwanda, the leadership and management workshop, it was a big milestone in my career. So ASSET was a fantastic opportunity for me.
I guess the biggest impact that ASSET had for me is that it changes my perspective in the important issues and concerns regarding agricultural research in Africa. So before ASSET, the knowledge that I gained about agricultural problems in Africa is just through scientific articles and research papers. And when I actually discussed with the African scientists during the ASSET program, I realized that there are more to it. It's not just pest and pathogen and drought, but surprisingly, more research is needed on underutilized crops, the projects that the asset researchers are actually doing.
I think ASSET was fantastic. I think it focused on all of the right things, and it focused on the things that matter to early career researchers. So it focused on how they get on with their careers in terms of writing grants, in terms of writing manuscripts, in terms of making networks. So I think it touched all of the right things for early career researchers, and it built those partnerships, those friendships, those future collaborations. So I think a real success.
I feel really honored to have been part of the ASSET program in this first year. It's been a real privilege for me to get to know the participants and see their learning journeys through the program.